Guys, we all know that if your car is not properly aligned, you will never go in a straight line, and you're going to have a very hard time progressing towards your destination. Why? Because you're always going to have to be correcting. You're going to have to be adjusting the steering wheel. You're going to be swerving and wasting energy. And honestly, life works the same way. I'm going to break it down for you and show you how. Because in order to progress towards a goal, you need to be aligned. But what exactly do you need to align? Well, you actually need to align 3 things. I call them alignment frames. You have the identity frame, the habit frame, and the goal frame. And together, these 3 frames make up what I call the winner's trilogy of success. And there's also a little secret ingredient right inside this triangle that most people neglect when they're trying to do some sort of alignment framework. But today I'm going to break it down for you so that you can move toward your goals without swerving all over the road. Because let me tell you something, there were plenty of times in my life when I've been swerving all over the road with different goals, no real direction, no clarity, and eventually quit. I started a photography business, then a marketing business. I even started a run club. Yes, a run club. But why did I quit? Why did I not achieve my goals? Basically, I was not aligned. My car was misaligned, and therefore my trilogy, my success trilogy, was broken. I did not have continuity. We're going to get into that in a minute. Be patient with me, okay? This is actually a very important video, and I have a very specific outline that I need to follow. Make sure that you guys grasp the concept, okay? Yes, some of these videos are all fun and games. They're exciting, they're motivating, but this one is instructional. This one, I need you to pay attention. I need you to take notes because we're going to solve problems. We're going to solve your alignment problem. So why was I not aligned in any of those businesses? Well, basically, I was missing the secret ingredient that's inside that triangle that we're going to review shortly. But luckily, in the last few years, I've been able to focus, follow through, and progress and achieve many of my goals, including building this YouTube channel and my newsletter. If you want to subscribe, head on over to the link in the description, okay? I was able to succeed and achieve my goals because of the winner's trilogy of success. All right, so let's get right into it. I've been looking forward to this for a while because I've been wanting to share this publicly. I use it only in my private coaching sessions, but I could not resist because I think it's very important and it's the foundation for a lot of the victories that I've had and a lot of my guys have had. So I thought, why not share it? Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, check out this Jeep actually. How cool is that? This is from 1981. And this, just so you know, it is a Ferrari GTO Majorette from France, made in France. All right, so unfortunately, most people never achieve their goals because they never take the time to align their identity with their actions or their actions with their identity. It's a cycle. So how do you know if you're misaligned? Well, if just like a car, you're always ending up in the wrong place, that's how you know you're misaligned. You don't go in a straight line and progress gradually and eventually reach your destination. That's the natural progression of alignment. If you're not constantly achieving goals and setting new goals, it's because you're not aligned. Your identity and your goals are not aligned. And therefore, you always have to course correct and you eventually quit. Because when you feel anxious, lazy, and overwhelmed, distracted, and unfocused, that is often your body and mind telling you that there's something wrong. Something is out of alignment. There is no continuity. That is why you procrastinate. That is why you have fear of the unknown. That is precisely why simple actions feel hard and they feel pointless sometimes. You can't really see past tomorrow. And guess what? The fix for all that is actually alignment. Because alignment will help you regulate your external world. All the things that determine your level of effectiveness, such as your sleep, your physical activity, your routine, and your environment. But it also helps to regulate your internal world. The things that drive your decision making, your visualization, your mindset, and your impulse and emotional control. So how do we fix the alignment issue? If they are not functioning properly and they're not working together in harmony, the whole system is fucked. It is misaligned. So let me break this down for you. It's a little bit complicated at first, but once you see the actual framework, you're gonna get it. So let me move this out of the way. All right, let's get started, okay? All right, so this is the winner's trilogy of success. I hope you can see this. All right, so I'll try to put this on the screen a little bit bigger so you can follow along. All right, guys, so here, this is the winner's trilogy of success, and it starts right up here at the top of the triangle with your identity, okay? This is who you are, how you see yourself, how you present yourself to the world, and it is basically your sense of self. And it is largely built from two things, your lived experiences and your habits. So if you have poor habits and you have not put in the work to improve yourself, build skills, grow stronger, become sharper, smarter, more resilient, then obviously you will have a weak, poor self-image. And that will create a lot of problems when you move to the next element, which is goals, okay? And honestly, most people that have poor self-image will also have very weak and poor goals. They're vague goals. They're normally very small goals that require minimal effort. They are vague and therefore are difficult to measure and to track the progress. And just like a car, weak goals need to be repaired. You need better, bigger goals. And how do we fix that? Just like a car has to go through a special process and special equipment, for us, we fix it by introducing habits. And this, unfortunately, is where most people fall short. They don't really have enough self-awareness to remove and omit all the bad habits and replace them with good ones. The good habits that will be aligned with your new identity and your goals. But if you do replace the bad ones for the good ones, and little by little, habits will either align you with your goals or push you away from them. And that is precisely why habits matter so much. Because your habits are shaped by your goals, and your goals are usually limited by a weak self-image identity. And that itself is the cycle of personal development, the cycle of life. We set goals in accordance to our identity, and we practice habits that either get us closer or further away from said goal. And that's why it's important to dream big, have big goals. Because if you have very small goals or no goals at all, you really don't have a need for strong, good, positive habits. So most people at that point will coast through life. They move in random directions, unaligned with the street lines, and therefore end up in the emergency lane or in the gutter. And when you're crashing against the side rails, like in bowling, it's really hard to get momentum. It's really hard to get speed. But when your goals, your habits, and your identity are all in perfect alignment, you move faster with intention, and most importantly, in a straight line with clarity and conviction. So how do we begin this process of alignment? We're going to start with the winner's trilogy of success. Grab some paper, let's take some notes. I want you to write down some goals, because the goals are going to be the driving force of every decision that you make from here on out. And for that, we need three things. Write this down. First, you need to self-assess. You must honestly figure out where you stand right now. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? I want you to look at your finances, your health, your habits, your skills, your daily routine. I want you to write it all down and figure out where you stand. Do you have a daily routine? Do you not have one? Is it optimized? Is it aligned with your goals? Secondly, you're going to need skill acquisition. What do you need to learn in order to achieve this goal? And this could require some education, some formal education. This might require some time. But it's okay, because our goals are ambitious. They're big goals. They're dreams. We're going places, right? It's not going to be easy. So you'll need to practice, and you need to get creative. You need to use your critical thinking skills, or develop critical thinking skills, I should say. And the top achievers, what they do is they actually hire a mentor. They have mentorship to guide them along the way so that they're more efficient and they save time. That way they can win bigger and faster. And the third thing you're going to need are opportunities. This is where the leaders of the pack separate themselves. This means you're going to need to do some networking. Grow your social circles. Put yourself in situations that you normally would not. And that is where the real growth happens. Let's recap. In order to set goals, you're going to need to self-assess first. Figure out who you are and where you stand. Then we're going to develop new skills, knowledge, skills, and creativity. With these new skills, we're going to seek opportunities Could be in business. You could also do networking, and you're going to develop new social network connections. And like I said, the best way to speed this process up, be more accurate, more efficient, and faster is to hire mentorship. Have someone, a coach, that can get you from here to here in a tenth of the time. I don't know about you, but I'm 43. I don't have time to learn more and more. I've already learned enough with this YouTube channel and all the businesses that I have started. Some failed, some succeeded. And as you begin to accumulate new skills, new knowledge, and you seek opportunities, start businesses, start networking, and you implement the new habits and omit all the bad habits, something magical happens. You begin to shift your identity. You started with a goal, you acquired the skills and knowledge, you seek the opportunities, you build a business or develop a network of connections and a social circle. You develop new habits that are going to get you in alignment with your goals, and your identity begins to shift. And that only happens through repetition of the new habits that are reinforced by your identity. And that is what keeps you on track. And through discipline, these habits, these small wins, these daily wins are going to build progress and momentum. Just like in business, when you start a business, you have to implement habits through discipline. You need to learn new skills. Like I've learned in all my businesses, I had to learn sales, copywriting, graphic design, marketing, estimating, communication skills, psychology, leadership, the tax code. And through repetition, you learn more and more, you improve on those skills until your business gets to the point where you can delegate. And once you delegate to someone else, you can move on to the next skill that's going to get your business to the next place. And in life, if you notice here, once your identity has shifted and you've implemented all the habits through repetition, new skills, and took advantage of all the opportunities that you found, it actually loops all over again. And instead of new skills in the business, is new goals. So in your self-improvement journey, this is basically the cycle. You're back at square one with new, bigger, and better goals. That is basically self-improvement in a nutshell. You start with a goal, you acquire the skills and knowledge, you seek the opportunities, and through repetition and discipline, you execute daily on your habits. You shift your identity and repeat the process over and over again. And as you repeat this process over and over again with new goals, new skills, new habits, the more aligned you are with your future self based on the goals. So your values and standards will also change in this process in accordance to the goals. And that, my friend, is the winner's trilogy of success. And now I want to break it down a little bit further for you guys. Okay, so listen up. We're going to break this down so that you can actually take action on this today and see some progress in life, okay? I want you guys to feel like you're on a path to success, and that only happens through progress, and progress only happens with alignment, okay? So when it comes to goals, I have my notes here on the side. Goals are basically visualizations that we have in the shower or when you're laying in bed at night, when you're driving in traffic. Okay, they begin as dreams, but dreams do come true when they're matched with the proper actions, habits. Okay, so when it comes to goals, I like to recommend my guys that start off with the first 1 or 2 goals to be something measurable. I actually prefer it to be materialistic, like a car, something badass that you really want to watch, a new phone, whatever it is, a collectible Matchbox car, whatever it is that you want, a new microphone. Whatever it is that you want, okay? I like to start off with something material that you can actually measure, okay? I like for the timeline to be between 4 and 6 weeks for something small and something a little bit bigger, 3 to 6 months. I want you to pick something that you've wanted for a while that excites you. For example, losing 10 or 20 pounds, or making an extra $1,000 or $2,000 a month, or launching a business in a time frame like 30 days. I don't want you to have these elongated time frames for something that can be started up quickly. Make this first goal that you're writing down right now, make it simple and very clear, and of course measurable, realistic, but yet exciting. All right, next, for the habits, we need to be aligned, remember. So these are going to be the habits that will align you with that goal that you're writing down. Okay, these are the daily actions that will pull you toward your goal. And these things can be like daily walks, tracking your macros for 6 months, daily sun, keeping a consistent bedtime. That's probably the hardest one for me. Prioritizing progress through organized and strict calendar maintenance. I use the one on the iPhone. That's probably the most efficient one. You can link it to your Gmail, etc. Also, working in blocks of 2 to 4 hours for deep work, very important. And then having a weekly progress meeting for yourself, with yourself, so you can see the progress. Okay, I want you to measure daily for small goals and weekly for larger goals. And finally, let's break down identity a little bit more, because that's probably the hardest part for most guys. But simply put, your identity is a combination of your standards and your values, which are your mindset. You also have your lived experiences and your skills. And the more that we can align all of that, the clearer the path becomes. Was that a bug? Did I just swallow a bug? I'm not sure. So what does this actually mean? Well, did you guys notice that the winner's trilogy of success is basically the blueprint for self-improvement? Did you notice that? And this is really all you need in order to progress and achieve your goals. It's actually very simple, but it starts with alignment. And most importantly, it starts with a realistic sense of who you are. You must have the right identity before you can set and achieve any goals. Do you actually know who you are? Do you actually know where you stand? Are you happy with the standards that you have set for yourself and for those around you? Do you let yourself down often? Do you tolerate weak behavior and poor results from yourself? Are your habits even aligned with your goals? Do you even have goals? If you do, are you progressing, or are you standing still? Or are you swerving uncontrollably all over the road? Or even worse, are you regressing? You're going to have to answer these tough questions and be brutally honest with yourself. Because until you do, nothing will change. Because your identity is not aligned with your goals. And your habits, the things that you do on a daily basis, are not going to lead you in the right direction. So if you made it to the end of this video, you are already on the right path. You probably want more of life. I did. But you don't know what it actually takes to succeed. I had no idea, to be honest with you. What it actually takes, it's discipline and repetition, and most importantly, alignment. You probably want to see progress in your life, and you want to demand respect from others, but you keep swerving off the road. You need alignment. You need time to grow. And I rarely promote my Mindset Reset workbook here publicly because I reserve it for coaching clients, for private coaching clients. But if you really want to use the winner's trilogy of success to its full potential, you're going to have to develop your values and standards. And the best way to do that is through a self-assessment test, which is inside of the Mindset Reset workbook called Time to Grow. I'm going to go ahead and link it in the description below. And if you want to start to set new goals and establish a new identity with the right standards, the right values, and if you want to track the progress and also ask yourself the right questions and have a guided system, then I encourage you to check out the workbook. I really can't believe I'm doing this. It's supposed to be for the private clients only, but since it is the beginning of every single session that I have with them, it would be a shame to hold back and not share it with you guys. It is 49 pages, and it includes 6 printable worksheets that you can print out, and it walks you through taking accountability, shifting your mindset, goal setting, raising and setting new standards for yourself. And most importantly, after the 100 days, it is a 100-day program, it establishes your new identity. And it truly is the first step to self-improvement. And what I love about my workbook, because I use it on myself once a year I go through that workbook. It's 49 pages. It takes me about a week to really go through it and update it every year. But what I love about it the most is that at the end of it, at the end of the 100 days, you're going to walk away with a plan, a game plan that you can implement for the rest of the year. And at the time of recording, which is April 28th, still the 28th, yes, it is on sale. I'm going to put a link for this video and for this video only because I think it's so important and I cannot hold back and not share it with you guys. So take advantage. If the link is no longer there, you took too long, okay? Once that link expires, I might give it a week. I think a week is fair. Once that link expires, you can get it in my storefront. I will also link my storefront in there, and that will be at full price. It's not expensive, okay? But I know some of you guys are struggling. I've been there. But for the price, which I think it's under $50, you can actually change your entire life. I've paid way more for coaching than $50. And sometimes it's a risk, you know? That's why I priced it accordingly. I could have priced it a little higher, but I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for my goals. I'm looking to grow the channel to 1,000 subscribers. And as noted in another video, my goal is to help 1,000 guys with coaching, with my digital products in 2026. I should probably write down where I'm at on that goal. But if you want to be part of the 1,000 in 2026, go ahead and grab the Time to Grow. I don't know if you can see that, it's down here. Time to Grow. Grab the Time to Grow workbook. And at least start there. If you need more help, of course, I encourage you to connect with me for a one-on-one. And I think I'm going to end the video on that. Thank you guys for watching. In my notes, it says, now get to work, motherfuckers. Peace. I'm off to the gym. One more thing. How badass is this Ferrari? Can you see that? Let me get some light. There we go. There we go. Hello. Hold on. There. Jesus. Why wouldn't it focus? There. How sick is that? Huh? How sick is that? One more thing. If you're wondering why I'm wearing this hat, mostly because I just want to. Mostly because I just wanted to be honest with you. First, it was a long day. Going to the gym. I bought this in Mexico. It's been like, I think 2 years now, or 3 years possibly, and I haven't been able to wear it here in Miami. I don't know why. So why not wear it for this very important video about identity? I love the way this hat looks. I love the way it feels. The only thing is missing is a little rope here for windy days. That's probably why I don't wear it here in Miami, because there's nothing worse than a hat flying away. Peace.